All right, everyone. Well, hi, and I hope everyone is doing good. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch my presentation. And as you can see, I will be presenting on the Joint Trial Readiness Exhibit List, which is attached to the Joint Readiness Conference Report. So bet you're wondering why this is so important. So this is so important because this list is attached to the conference report and it includes all the different exhibits that the defense or plaintiffs want to be admitted into trial. And so right about now, I bet you're wondering, hey, Eric, what's the Joint Trial Readiness Exhibit List? Well, what it is like I said, it's a form. So we'll start with all of our favorite part, the form cover form or cover. And I'm just going to go over it real quick, what's included in this one, even though we all know how to fill this out. So we start with the attorney for the plaintiff and all the information included there. Secondly, the attorney for the defense and all the good information right there. Thirdly, we have the venue of the trial, which in this case is the Superior Court of the State of California for the County of San Diego Central Division. Fourthly, we have the names of the plaintiff and the defendant. And last but not least, we have the name of the form that we are filling out. So coming up next is the more exciting stuff. We're going to go over the exhibit list. I'm going to start with a bunch of exhibits. So firstly, I'm going to go over the instructions that we are given for filling out the exhibit list, which I'm just going to read it. Each exhibit must be separately listed. There must be no subparts to an exhibit. The index must be prepared in the format provided below and must indicate the next four items. First, the exhibit number. Second, by whom it was submitted, plaintiff or defense. Third, a description of each exhibit sufficient for identification. And fourth, whether the parties have stipulated to admissibility, and if not, the legal grounds for objections. And so next we're going to go into what the table actually includes, all six columns, and it might seem a little bit repetitive, but it's going to go into my actual table. So the items in the table are number one, the exhibit number. Number two, who it was submitted by. In this case, the plaintiff, the defendant, or jointly, and jointly is by both of them. Thirdly, the description of the exhibit included. And so getting to the exhibit, I want to do a little side note real quick about a very important rule that we need to pay attention to in the rules Superior Court of California, County of San Diego local rules. So we're referring to rule 2.1.15, and the part of it that I wanted to bring up was failure to disclose and identify all trial exhibits and witnesses intended to be called at trial and all other items required by the report may, in the court's discretion, result in exclusion or restriction of use in trial. So what this is saying basically is that if it's not included here, we're not going to be able to use it as evidence in the trial. So we have to be very careful that everything is listed. On the list I got from Professor Townsend, there were over 200 pieces of evidence. While when you see mine, I kept it a little bit shorter. So let's get back to the six things in the table. Fourthly, we have legal grounds for objection to an exhibit. And so I'm going to go over the 9 different types of objections. The first one is no objection, admissibility stipulated. Second, it's irrelevant. Third, it's hearsay. Fourth is the best evidence rule. Fifth, inadmissible due to opinion. Sixth, insufficient foundation. Seventh, unduly time-consuming, prejudicial, confusing, or misleading evidence. Eighth is the subsequent repair. And ninth is other, and we just have to specify what the objection would be. All right, so let's get to the last 2 items on our table. The fifth one is the date the exhibit was identified. And sixthly, we have the date the exhibit was admitted. And so now, as I'm getting towards the end of my presentation, we are getting to the star of my presentation, the actual table that I filled out. All right, yeah. So as you can see here, column 1 is the exhibit number. Number two is submitted by, and as you see, I did an example of plaintiff, defendant, and joint. Thirdly, we have the descriptions, and if you look at the one I have included, it's our good old friends from the Sampsons and Emeralds Catering. And then I didn't include any legal grounds for objections or the dates because it wasn't necessary. So in closing, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for watching my presentation. I hope you found it very informative. And I will be attaching the Word document that I made to do this form. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I will see you in class.